Hi, I'm Tom. My pronouns are he, him, his. I am a cis white gay man with salt and pepper hair and pink glasses. I'm making this video from the little city currently known as Milwaukee, which occupies the traditional homeland of the Potawatomi, Ho-Chunk, and Menominee nations. So I'm here today to help you practice self-reflection. This is for you if you're interested in connecting with yourself, tuning into yourself for a couple minutes to get a sense of what's going on in your inner world. We're not here to figure it all out right now, but we're just observing our feelings for a little bit. Observing our feelings with curiosity and care, without judgment or pressure to change how we feel. There are many benefits to self-reflection. It can improve your communication skills, your adaptability, your ability to think critically and problem solve. But the main reason I want to share the practice of self-reflection is it helps you develop compassion and empathy. That's what's most important to me. That's what I hope people get out of it. Just like with other types of skills, you need to practice compassion and empathy. And it's really, really hard to do that organically out in the real world, just interacting with people day to day. So we practice it with ourselves first. We get familiar with what compassion and empathy feel like on the inside, what it feels like to receive compassion and empathy, and what it feels like to give compassion and empathy. And we do this with ourselves on our own. So when the time comes, when we're out there interacting with people in real time, compassion and empathy will come much more easily. Tapping into them becomes natural because we've practiced. Now, before I continue, I want to recognize that the world we're living in is a particularly challenging arena. It's confusing and it's overwhelming and it's heartbreaking and it's painful. The reality we're living in is hard. It's really hard. I bring this up because I think it helps contextualize the importance of self-reflection. We're collectively bearing witness to real horror every single day. But remember, our bodies and our minds are not designed for this constant graphic exposure to traumatic events. And even if they were, there's no way we could manage that on our own. The only way that we can survive this collective trauma, this collective grief, by turning to each other. We have to be able to talk to each other about how the world is impacting us, even if we don't fully understand everything that's happening. We have to be able to talk about our feelings. We have to be able to share and to listen. And one of the most important first steps to being able to talk to others about your feelings is being able to talk to yourself about your feelings. Another reason I wanted to acknowledge current events is because even though I'm not going to talk about everything that's going on in the world, that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. All the things happening to us, to our communities, all of the pain and the suffering, it's all still here. It's with us. It's in this room with us. We carry it with us all the time. And I'm about to move on and focus on feelings of love and joy and light and warmth. But before I do, I wanted to remind us that all these feelings can exist at the same time. In fact, during times of great sorrow, I think it's even more important to create space for joy. So while I'm not an expert on international affairs or world peace or any of these huge, weighty topics, I am an ambassador of joy. I am an instrument of love. The strengths that I bring to the table, my area of expertise, is bringing people together by helping them first get in touch with themselves. It is in my power to celebrate the beauty in other people and in myself. And it's in my power to inspire others to do the same. So that's why I'm here. That's what we're doing today. We're here to lift ourselves up, to really get interested in and excited about connection. If you feel like you don't have the capacity to participate in this environment of love and joy right now, that's okay. There's no pressure to show up. I don't want anyone to feel like they have to fake a smile or pretend to ignore the weight of the world. If this space isn't for you today, I invite you to opt out. There's no shame or judgment for stepping away. You got to do what you got to do. So pause the video, step away from your screen, and just be. Use this time to heal in whatever way you need right now. and you're welcome to come back and join me whenever you're ready. So I'll give folks a second to step away if that feels right. Really decide if you want to be here today. So now that we're all here intentionally, now that we all want to be here, now that we all want to practice loving on ourselves a little bit, I just want to reiterate something, and I can't stress this enough. This is a space for connection, connection to self. You are inviting yourself into your own world by understanding how you think and how you feel. It might be a little vulnerable. It might be a little uncomfortable. You might find yourself asking, why am I doing this? Maybe you've never done this before. So I ask that you respect yourself by showing up with your full attention. If you can, I invite you to silence your mobile device, turn on Do Not Disturb, put your phone in another room if you can. Really create some physical distance with it. Close out all the apps on your screen that you're not using, your email, social media, Discord, whatever. And don't just minimize them. Close out those windows completely. Hit the little X in the corner. Close out the other tabs on your internet browser. I know some of you have a million tabs open right now, but put that away. We don't need that right now. You can come back to it. This is a distraction-free zone, and it's very important to me to set that boundary. We're not here to multitask. Resist the temptation to scroll on Instagram as I talk. Resist the urgency to respond to texts or other notifications right away. You're here to be with yourself, to share and to listen. You owe it to yourself to be fully present, free from distraction. If you feel like you can't fully separate yourself from your external world for the next 40 minutes, I gently encourage you to investigate that. What do you feel like you need to be doing? What's that sense of urgency? Where is that sense of urgency coming from? What's dividing your attention in a million different directions? And if you truly can't be here right now, that's okay. This video is going to end up being close to an hour, and that can feel like a lot to give up. So don't judge yourself for that. Time is precious, perfectly valid. So just pause the video, step away from this activity, and go tend to whatever else needs your attention. You're welcome to come back and join me whenever you're ready and when you have the time and the capacity to really be here with yourself and with me. Okay, it's just us. I think we've narrowed down our audience a little bit. We've arrived. Thank you for your patience as I set those intentions. We can move on to the activity now. This is what you all came here for. So today's activity is a guided creative reflection. I'll walk us through a series of open-ended prompts, and you will respond independently in the way that feels right to you. There are 6 prompts, and we'll spend about 5 minutes on each one. Some quick math will tell you that's a total of 30 minutes. After this 30 minutes of independent reflection, I'll share some additional questions so you can continue your practice beyond this video. There are many ways that you can participate in the activity. You can draw using pens, markers, crayons, colored pencils, whatever you want. You can journal. You can respond with poems. You can respond to each prompt with a song, making a little mini playlist if you want. You can use Microsoft Paint or Canva. If you have clay or Play-Doh, you can bring those out too. Or you can use the Google Slide template that's linked in the description box that I made for you to use throughout the activity. The whole point is to be creative as possible. And the most important thing to remember is to let your imagination, your intuition guide you, not your inhibitions. So if you choose to use the Google Slide template, go ahead and open that up by clicking the link in the description box. Please make a copy of this template and save it to your private drive or desktop. Download a copy so it's on your own device. That way you have your own file that's not public to the world. No one else has to see what you come up with today. This is for you. This is not for anybody else. And if you're using the Google Slide template, for each prompt, you'll respond with images from online. So you can open a tab for Google Images or Bing or whatever you want. and then just copy and paste images onto the slides as we go. So you're kind of creating like a mood board or a scrapbook kind of situation. Or you can use photos from your own life. You can use real photos from your camera roll, your photo library. But if you're using the Google Slide templates, you will be responding with images and just filling the space with the images that represent the prompts to you. So I'll give everyone a minute to get situated, pause the video, take a couple minutes to get your materials, bring out your paper and your pens, your clay, your guitar. Maybe you want to respond to my prompts with dance. That's great. Take a couple minutes, stretch, warm up your body. Whatever you need to creatively express yourself, pause the video and go get it. You can take this as seriously as you want to. You can be as honest with yourself as you want to. If you feel comfortable, you can really dig deep. You can really get in there, poke around, but you don't have to. You can keep it surface level. You can keep it very simple and straightforward. There's no need to go deep if you don't want to. There's no pressure to be profound. This is for you. This is time for yourself. The only things that you should be paying attention to are my voice and the voice inside you, your heart and your mind. You'll have time to react and respond and share with others after this, but for now, just be with yourself. All right, let us begin the activity. So as I mentioned, we're here to explore our feelings, our thoughts. We're here to really get to know ourselves a little bit. We're here to express ourselves. So welcome to Creative Reflection with me, Tom. So if you're drawing, get out your paper, get out your pens, and draw a tree. This is an image of a simple tree, the simplest tree I could find. It doesn't have to look like this. It can look like whatever you want it to look like. But draw a tree and give yourself plenty of space. Sometimes when I facilitate activities like this, folks will draw these like little tiny doodles. No, give yourself space. Take up the whole page. Eventually, we're going to be filling this tree with other things, so make sure you have enough space. Don't limit yourself. And then once you have your tree, draw a line underneath that. Just a straight line. This is the ground. It can be, you can add hills if you want. You can add grass. It could just be a straight line. It doesn't have to be fancy. And we are going to start in the space underneath the tree. So in the space underneath the tree, these are the roots. This is where the root system lives. So fill this space with things that make you feel grounded. What makes you feel stable and secure? If you're using the PowerPoint template, copy and paste images of things that make you feel safe. If you're drawing or responding with poems or song or dance, feel free to be as literal or as interpretive as you want. So what colors, shapes, symbols, textures, patterns, sounds do you associate with security and safety? When do you feel safe? Who makes you feel safe? I started the timer. We have about 4 minutes left on this prompt. Again, we're spending about 5 minutes on each prompt. It may feel like it goes by fast. It may feel like it goes by too slow. It may feel like too much time. It may feel like not enough time. Whatever it feels like, don't worry about it. Don't think about it, just go with it. You don't have to finish anything. There's no end goal. So we're filling this space with things that make us feel safe and secure. What things bring you comfort? In the United States, we're experiencing fall right now. It's a very cozy season. This activity is kind of a fall-themed activity, so get cozy with it. What things make you comfortable? What things make you feel warm and nice? Another thing that we can think about with the roots, and especially during the fall season, as we are seeing these leaves fall from the trees around us, it's a reminder that the trees are pulling in their life force, pulling in their energy, pulling in their nutrients down through the branches, through the trunk, into the roots. They're conserving their life force. They're pulling it in, they're keeping it safe, they're keeping it warm for the winter. So, how do you conserve your energy? What does your life force look like? How do you keep your life force warm, safe? How do you hold that within you? Take another 2 minutes to reflect on the things that make you feel safe and warm. Think about how you conserve your energy, your life force. How do you protect that? And as I go along, as I go through the prompts, there will be periods of silence. And I invite you to lean into that. I think sometimes silence can feel uncomfortable or awkward, but it doesn't have to. I think there's a lot of potential in silence. I think there's a lot of beauty in silence. It gives you a chance to think and to experience yourself and the world around you. So take another minute in the roots, and then we'll move on. Take a deep breath. Breathe into your belly, diaphragm, rib cage expanding. Let it go. Relax your shoulders. And start wrapping up your thoughts for the roots. And then we'll move on to the next prompt. So we have our base, we have our foundation, we have our roots. And so let's move on to the next prompt. If you're drawing, I want you to draw a leaf next to your tree. Again, give yourself plenty of space to fill this leaf. And we're filling this space, we're filling this leaf with love. So if you're using the Google Slide template, pull in images of things that you love. And we're not just talking about material things, we're not just talking about possession, but what are some of your favorite things about yourself? Maybe you love your smile. Maybe you love your sense of humor. Maybe you love how confident you are. Maybe you love how good you are at making cupcakes. I don't know. Get creative. What do you love about yourself? Again, you can be as literal or as interpretive as you want. If you're going in a more abstract direction, what colors, shapes, symbols, sounds, textures do you associate with love? You don't have to draw any sort of recognizable objects if you don't want to. You can draw designs, you can draw scribbles. What does love feel like? What is that feeling of love inside of you? How do you express that? And when you think about love, how do you give love to yourself? How do you cherish yourself? How do you prefer to receive love from others? Do you like physical touch? Do you prefer words of affirmation? Do you like to receive gifts? Or do you like all of it? There are many ways that we can receive love. So we're about halfway through this prompt. Take another 2 minutes and 30 seconds with love. Fill the space with love. Another important aspect of love is community. Who do you surround yourself with? What does community mean to you? We've thought about how we give love to ourselves, but how do we give love to others? How do we show up for the people around us? Love is such a dynamic, two-way, sometimes more than two-way exchange. Sometimes it's one way. Sometimes you're just giving love to yourself, but it's expansive, even when it's just for you. So fill this leaf, fill this space with love. Take another 90 seconds. Again, don't forget to breathe. Breathe into your belly, diaphragm, rib cage fully expanding. Let it go. Let it fall away. Let your shoulders fall away from your ears. Release any tension you have in your neck, your back. And if you see me looking down, I'm just keeping time on the side. So we have about 30 seconds with love. Start wrapping up your thoughts about love, community, self-love. All right. Our next prompt is joy. So if you're drawing, draw another leaf. And if you're starting to run out of space, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Move on to another page. This all does not have to be on the same paper. You can have a different page for each prompt, but draw a leaf. And in this leaf, we're going to fill it with things that bring us joy. So if you're using the slide template, pull in images of things that bring you joy, things that make you smile. This is your space to fill with happiness. Again, you can be as literal or as interpretive as you want. If you are going in a more abstract direction, what colors, shapes, symbols, sounds, movements, textures do you associate with joy? How do you find joy when you're by yourself? Are you at your happiest when you're alone reading a book, going for a walk, sleeping? And how do you find joy with other people? Do you like being around people? Do you like meeting new people? Do you like spending time with your deep, intimate relationships? How do those things bring you joy? So, this is your space to express joy, to think about what joy means to you. What does joy feel like within you? What is that feeling of joy when you experience joy? How do you convey that? If you're using the slide template, this is a great place to pull in images from your real life, from your camera roll. What are some of your happiest memories? The pictures that when you see them, instantly a smile comes to your face without even thinking about it. You just smile when you think about that time or those people. So this is your container for joy. Got 2 more minutes left with this prompt. Make sure you're staying hydrated throughout this activity. I've got my tea over here. It's actually not tea, it's just hot water, but take another minute to wrap up your thoughts and feelings about joy. After this prompt, we'll be about halfway through the activity. I have 3 more prompts to go. At this point, you can kind of understand what we're doing here. You kind of get a sense of what the prompts are. Every prompt is pretty much going to be the same from here on out. I'll say some of the same things, just with different words. So feel free to really tune into what you're doing. Feel free to kind of tune me out a little bit. Just focus on the feelings that we're going to be talking about for the next few minutes. So we have our containers for love and joy. We have this space that's about half full of all of these great, wonderful feelings. So what's next? We have hope. So if you're drawing, draw a leaf. Again, give yourself plenty of space. And we're going to fill this leaf, we're going to fill this space with things that we hope for or things that give us hope. So if you are using the Google Slide template, pull in images, copy and paste images of things that give you hope, images that represent hope to you. Who do you aspire to be? What would you like to see happen in your life? Again, you can be as literal or as interpretive as you want to be. As we're filling this space with hope, Think about what hope feels like inside of you. What is that feeling? How do you express that? What colors, shapes, symbols, patterns, textures, movements, sounds do you associate with hope? Take a few more minutes here with hope. When we talk about hope, sometimes we talk about our dreams, our hopes and dreams. So, do you have any dreams? Do you have any big wishes for your life? Any dreams that excite you? Even if they seem unrealistic, put them here, put them in this space, put them in this leaf. Your dreams may feel unreasonable or unattainable. It may seem like a fantasy, a pipe dream. So what? What is it? What is that thing that you really want? Write it down. Put it in here. So what if it never happens? So what if you never achieve that dream? What is it? What do you want? I think as we grow into adulthood, sometimes we're conditioned to be scared of our dreams or to not take our dreams seriously. But that's not the space for this. When you think about your life and you think about the things that are coming to you, what are the things that make you think, oh, I really wish that could happen? Or, oh, I really want that. Or I really hope that I get to do this one day. What is it? And once you've had time to think about what your dreams are, once you've had time to think about what your hopes are, envision yourself achieving those things. Envision yourself actualizing that and making that your reality. What does that feel like? When you realize that all of your dreams are coming true, like, oh my gosh, this is finally happening. Oh my gosh, I've dreamed of this for so long. What does that feel like? What is that feeling inside of you? How do you express that? I'm a firm believer in creating your own reality. And this practice right here is an important part of that. So take another 30 seconds with hope. Fill the space with hope. We have our little leaf, our little container of love, our little container of joy. Now we have a container of hope. Again, take some deep breaths, roll your shoulders, relax your neck. And we'll move on to pride. So draw a leaf. Again, giving yourself plenty of space. And fill this leaf with things that you're proud of. If you're using the Google Slide template, bring in images, copy and paste images of things that represent your accomplishments. Think about what you've done, where you've come from, and give yourself a pat on the back for those things. I think sometimes pride has a bad reputation. And of course, too much pride can be harmful. That's why it's one of the 7 deadly sins. But there is a healthy amount of pride. And I want people to feel that as much as possible. Pat yourself on the back, congratulate yourself, acknowledge yourself. You did that. You did that and you did a damn good job. If you're responding with poems or songs or dance, again, you can be as literal or as interpretive as you want. So when you think about the things that you've accomplished, how does that make you feel? What is that feeling inside of you? How do you express that? What colors, shapes, symbols do you associate with pride? You know, some of the things that we've talked about already, like love and joy, these things have like stereotypical symbols and associations. You know, for love, we think about hearts and red and pink and flowers. For joy, we think about yellow and sunshine. But what is pride? What colors and symbols represent pride? Think about it, get creative. Take another 2.5 minutes to fill the space with the things that you're proud of, the people you're proud of. Think about, how do you prefer to be recognized for your successes? Do you like to be recognized for your successes? Or do you prefer to keep those private? How do you lift up other people's successes? How do you show up for your community and celebrate your community? One of my favorite things to do is, you know, cheer on my friends. That's my best friend. She did that. She's a bad bitch. If you're responding with songs, what songs make you feel like a bad bitch? What songs do you put on when you are ready to conquer the world, conquer a task, conquer a project? How do you hype yourself up or hype up your community? Take another minute to wrap up your thoughts on pride. Don't forget to breathe. Breathe into your belly, diaphragm, rib cage expanding fully. And let it go. Release your breath. Let your shoulders relax away from your ears. Remind yourself that you have a body and your body is holding all of these feelings. We have one more prompt after this. Almost done. You're almost there. You're doing great. Speaking of pride, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for being here today, for showing up for yourself, for doing this activity, for clicking this video. Maybe you don't even know who I am, but good for you for showing up. Good for you for being here. Thank you. All right, so we have all of these leaves falling from the sky, and fall as a season. Fall, it's a beautiful season full of color and wonder and life. You know, it seems like all of these leaves are dying, and they kind of are, and it might feel a little weird, but it's a reminder of life. Again, it's a reminder that the tree is pulling in its life. It's conserving its life force. It's conserving its energy. It's protecting itself for the winter ahead. And that's a reminder of the beauty of life. But this fall especially has been complicated and fraught, and we can't ignore that. For some of us, maybe we can't turn that off or tune it out. Maybe it's still very much in the forefront of our minds. But right now, in this moment, right in front of us, we have love, hope, joy, and pride. We have our roots where we started this activity. We have the things that make us feel comfortable, the things that make us feel safe. And in the middle of it all, we have the tree from which all of these things are flowing, the center of this picture. And this may come as no surprise to anybody, but maybe it will surprise some people. The tree is us. The tree is our full self because we're made up of all of these things. We're made up of love and joy and hope and pride. We know what anchors us. We know when and where and with whom we feel the most secure. We're complex. We're all complex. We have all of these things and more. If you look at the tree, you see that the tree still has so many leaves. Look at all the leaves on that tree. It's a big bush of leaves. There are so many things that we didn't cover: fear, guilt, shame, hurt. All of these things exist within the tree too. Even though we didn't talk about them, that doesn't mean that they're not there. The beauty of the tree is it can hold all of it at once. All of the leaves together, every single leaf together, makes a beautiful, full, vibrant tree. And it's the same way with us. We hold so many things at the same time. We carry all of our lived experiences, all of our emotions. We carry that within us at all times. So many things make us who we are. So for the last prompt, I invite you to reflect on that. Reflect on your full self. And this is where we're filling up this tree. So if you're using the Google Slide templates, fill this tree with images of things that represent your full self. What does your full self look like? What is your most authentic self? I'm realizing that I am asking you, who are you? Who are you? And I know that's kind of a huge question. And it might feel like too much to cover in 5 minutes. You don't have to cover it all, so just think about it. Again, there's no right or wrong answer. There's no end goal. You don't have to have a complete articulate thought, but just think about it. Who are you? How do all of these things make up who you are? What else is there within you in addition to what we've already talked about? Yes, we all have love and joy and hope and pride, but what else do you have? What else is in this tree? Think about some other leaves falling out. What are those leaves? Again, you can be as literal or as interpretive as you want. So if you're responding with songs, what songs represent you? Maybe you pick out a couple. If you're responding with dance, how do you express yourself? How do you express your full self? If you're drawing and you're taking a more abstract approach, what colors, shapes, patterns, textures, designs represent you? Take another 2.5 minutes to fill this space with yourself. Fill this space with the things that represent you. Again, you don't have to go deep. You don't have to get down and dirty with yourself. You don't have to expose yourself. If you want to keep it surface level, by all means, do that. You know, if you want to respond to the prompt of who are you, and your answer is, I'm a white man with pink glasses and a purple shirt and gray hair. That's fine. That's your answer. That's who you are in this moment. That's who I am in this moment. It doesn't have to be deeper than that if you don't want it to be. So think about what you look like, how you think, how you speak. Maybe you think about your role in life. Are you a partner, a child, a parent, a friend, a mentor, an enemy? We've already established we're all bad bitches, and bad bitches have enemies. Bad bitches have haters. So think about that. Think about your full self. Take another minute with this prompt. As you wrap up, take some more deep breaths, breathing into your belly, diaphragm, ribcage expanding fully. Open up your chest, relax your shoulders, roll your neck. We're going to be wrapping up this activity in about 30 seconds. So start coming back to the world around you. We've been digging around inside ourselves for a while. So let's come back to the surface. Let's come back out of our deep inner world, come back to the external world. Come back to your space. So we're transitioning back to our external worlds now. We're moving on from these prompts, from this guided activity. And for the next minute, think about the activity we did. Think about what I've said, the thoughts and the feelings that came up for you. Take some more deep breaths, really get the oxygen flowing. Roll your shoulders. Notice the space around you. Notice your body. Take in those sights and those sounds. Ah, hello again. Hi, how are you? You've just completed a gorgeous self-reflection. So give yourself a pat on the back for that. I'm really proud of you. I'm proud of you for doing this. I'm proud of you for showing up for yourself. You really did it. Congratulations. Kudos to you. So now you have a complete picture in front of you. It may not be the full picture. It may not be the most complete picture, but hopefully it's enough to start getting curious about this question. Okay, what am I holding in this present moment? And before you transition back to your life, decide what you want to take with you. You've shown up for yourself in these past 30 minutes, 30 plus minutes. Now be intentional about how you want to show up for the world around you. And as you think about that, let's take a step back for a minute to put everything back into context. Let's return to what I talked about at the beginning of all of this, thinking about the state of the world and compassion and empathy and self-reflection and how it all works together. Let me just wrap everything up in a nice little bow for you. In a time when it's natural to feel helpless, to feel bombarded by crisis after crisis, and to feel like everything is just way out of your control, there is one thing you can control. You can control your own healing journey. And for all of the white people watching or listening, your healing journey and your anti-racism journey are deeply connected. Self-reflection is a crucial part of anti-racism work. In our approach to racial justice and liberation and dismantling systems of oppression, we can't neglect the inner work that we're all responsible for, especially white people. And no matter where you are on your anti-racism journey, let me offer you a reminder. This is where it all starts, in here. This is where compassion lives. This is where empathy lives. And we can't do the work without compassion and empathy. A lot more is going to come up for you as you keep committing to anti-racism. You're going to have to face a lot of hard truths. It's not going to feel great. It's actually, at times, it's going to feel pretty bad. But practicing self-reflection helps. It helps manage those feelings and it helps you heal from them so you can keep showing up. So where do you go from here? Being in touch with yourself, understanding yourself, is an ongoing practice that requires intention and care, and it requires frequent check-ins. One of the impacts that I want to have on the people around me is to inspire them to continuously get to know themselves, to listen to themselves, to love themselves. So when you walk away from this video, don't walk away from yourself. Come back to yourself and come back often. There are many ways to practice self-reflection, and I came up with this activity to show you that. I offer this as an alternative to things like tarot and meditation and free-form journaling. Those things are not for everyone. Sometimes when meditation comes up, people will say, oh, I can't turn off my brain like that. I have too many thoughts. I can't turn those off. You don't have to. That's why I like integrating creative exercises into self-reflection. It gives your mind something to focus on. And it gives your hands something to do, something tangible to create. So try a couple different things and go with whatever works best for you. As my role model and inspiration, Queen Herbie once said, what you want to know, I got a few techniques. I have a few techniques for self-reflection. I have many tools in my arsenal. So what can you come up with? What things help you? Feel free to use this video again and again, as much as you need to. What you created today doesn't have to be the end product. You can keep adding to it, refining it, changing it. You're a work in progress. I'm a work in progress. We're all works in progress. So give yourself a chance to explore who you are, who you were, and most importantly, who you can become. For an immediate next step, I included some additional reflection questions in the Google Slide template. Again, that's linked in the description. You can find these additional questions on the last slide. So take a look at them, mull them over as you go about your day. I'll share them with you now. Has this reflection deepened your connection to yourself? Why or why not? Does understanding yourself help you understand others? Why or why not? There's no wrong answer. What are some ways that you practice self-reflection in your own life? If you don't, what holds you back? How else can you develop compassion and empathy? Self-reflection is not the only way to practice those things. What else can you do? What helps you feel safe sharing within a group? And what can you do to help others feel safe? So think about these things, mull them over, talk about them with your friends. If you're the type of person that likes homework, here's an assignment for you. Practice lifting each other up. Reach out to someone in your community, give them a call, shoot them a text, write them a letter, and take turns appreciating each other. You can use statements like, you make me smile because, or I'm proud of you for, or thank you for the XYZ that you add to my life. I've been saying this the whole time and I'll say it again. It's so important to let others know how you feel. So go do that. Go say hi to someone, go tell someone how you feel, and then come back and let me know how it goes. Love you. Peace be with you. Mm.